everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background, and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is about the romantic compatibility between ENFPs and ENTPs. But before we dive into this topic, I would like to underline a fact about my book is that it is written from a health science point of view. So we're looking at the anatomy, physiology, neurotransmitters, and so forth of the 16 NB personality types. So by identifying your own type, it's easier for you to know who would be the best match for you, because I do advocate that like attract like. So you want someone whose brain type is as similar to yours or the same. So I think it's important to understand that if you're interested in buying the book. So let's look at what ENFPs and ENTPs have in common. Obviously, they're both intuitive, so they are more interested in the abstract world and has to do with the future. In the case of these two personality types, they have extroverted intuition as their first functions. So these are people who are interested in idea generation. They're very good at brainstorming, so they want to look at what is possible. They tend to be very curious, so these are people who want to sort of explore, so they will have that in common. The other aspect is that these are people who are both perceivers, so how they organize their lives. They like spontaneity, so these are people who don't mind changing things at the last minute. They don't like a very sort of strict schedule, so they will feel energized by the unpredictable. So again, they will get along probably well on that level. The other point as well is that they are both extroverts, but in the case of intuitives is that although officially they would be extroverts, but they will function more like introverts because it has to do with a person's core energy. So if a person's core energy is greater or higher than people around them, they will need to sort of like distance themselves and then spend time alone to recharge. And that will happen when it comes to the ENFPs and ENTPs. So they will understand each other on that aspect of their personality. The other positive aspect of this pairing is that although the ENFP is officially an intuitive feeler, but because it has extrovert thinking as its third function, they will be rather logical. And obviously the ENTP, being an intuitive thinker, has introvert thinking as its second function. So they will understand each other logically. And so that will be a strength. Now, obviously, this couple will face some challenges. The first one is that the ENFP is a feeler, an intuitive feeler. So these are people who are people focused. They put more emphasis on their relationships than other aspects of their lives. And the ENFP is looking for a soulmate. That's what they want ultimately. And also they tend to be quote unquote very emotionally intelligent, so they can feel people's moods, and they can adapt rather well. Now the ENTP, being an intuitive thinker, is obviously object oriented, so they're more about logic than really focusing on their relationships. So the ENFP may not feel fulfilled that way, because the ENTP ultimately wants a mind mate. That is their preferred type of partner, romantic partner. So there might be an issue there. The other aspect is that the ENFP, being an intuitive feeler, has into the theme of their lives spirituality and meaning, and the ENTP is often atheists. So they won't be able to share, let's say, ideas or discussions when it comes to spirituality. And that will be something that the ENFP needs, because this is obviously the core of who they are. This is the theme of what their existence is about. So that will be a challenge. So I would say that what would happen in a relationship like that is that probably the ENTP will be more fulfilled long term with the ENFP than the other way around. So I would discourage this kind of pairing. It's not as bad as, let's say, the ENFP and INTP sort of like a couple, but it still will not be something that I would encourage people to do. To summarize, I would say that this is a poor pairing. Although they do have some aspects in common, they are both intuitives, extroverts, they are both perceivers, and also they would understand each other logically, but the ENFP will not have their emotional and spiritual needs met by the ENTP, because of the fact that one is a feeler, the other one is a thinker, one is very much looking for a soulmate, the other one is looking for a mind mate, and they won't be able to have the same sort of like theme in terms of their lives. So the For the ENFP, it is spirituality, meaning, and the ENTP, it has to do with knowledge and power, and they often are atheists, so they won't be able to bond on their emotional and spiritual aspect of life. So let me know if you agree or disagree with the content of this video by commenting below. If you like this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button. Remember to click on the notification bell to be notified of other videos I'm going to be making. Subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.